So, welcome Kenneth Strange to Passos del Camino, Stories on the Camino de Santiago. It was a pleasure. It is a pleasure for me to have you here as an invited pilgrim and writer about the Camino de Santiago. And thank you so much for accepting this challenge. It's really a nice pleasure for me to have you here. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, can we start it?
Yes, absolutely. Please feel free.
So, as an American guy, how or in what way did you find about the Camino de Santiago?
That's a good question, and I would say that I first found out in about 1975, 1976. I was a student at the University of Madrid in Spain, and so I would talk to my friends and in learning about the history of Spain, taking courses at the Universidad de Madrid, the Complutense. This is where I first heard about the pilgrimage to Santiago de Compostela, and then later I read a book by James Michener called Iberia, and there is a chapter exclusively devoted to the Camino of Santiago de Compostela. That's probably when I really got to learn about it.
Thank you so much. And did you remember in which year did you start your first way of St. James?
Well, we actually, my wife and I walked the Camino in May 2018. So, we're talking about a little more than 2 years ago.
Yeah.
This was the first time and the only time that we've been on the Camino Frances, or the French Camino.
Oh, thank you so much. And what is the most amazing thing about it, about the Camino de Santiago, for you, in your opinion?
Oh man, there's so many. There's
Yeah,
so many.
there's a lot.
You, you know, look, you've done it. So I'm not telling you anything new, but certainly there was so many things that were just terrific things that happened. Things saw, uh, just the the beautiful panorama views of the Camino, the countryside, the pilgrims themselves, how interesting they were, how fascinating they were, the history of the place, from the Camino itself as a road to the cathedrals, the mighty cathedrals we saw, the chapels, the churches, the castles, all of these things. And I think for us, it was just in walking, you just never knew what was around the corner waiting for you. There was always something new waiting. So it just kept you perpetually interested.
Yeah, definitely. It's amazing. For me, it's the same. There's no way to describe it itself because there's so many things that are good over there. It's something you have to be there to experience it. You have to be there to walk and to feel what we are talking about because without that you can understand. Uh,
Yeah,
so
yeah, absolutely. You really have to be there and have to live it to understand it. I totally agree with what you're saying.
thank you. So, as you said, you walked the first Camino with your wife. What is the feeling of doing the Camino with your best parts?
The best part of the Camino, um, for me, there was one particular incident, and I mention it. I mention it in my book, it's your Camino.
Yeah,
Uh, and by the way, I brought my book here with me, so that's that's the book.
it's
It's
amazing
your
thing. It's your Camino, yeah.
yeah, one couple's 500-mile pilgrimage across Spain. But I would say that the most interesting experience for me, for us, was when we met a blind couple from the United States, from Minnesota, and they were hiking the Camino. They had an app for the blind, and they had several apps, but one was for the blind, and I had never really spent any time in my life, um, profound time with blind people, ever. I would see them, I might help them across the street, I might chat with them occasionally, but I'd never spent hour after hour with blind people. And for me, it was an no pun intended, but it was an eye-opening experience
Yeah,
for us. It was beautiful, and it came to the point where we had just uh, we were about to enter a village, and there was a small bridge, and it was just a beautiful day, and my friend said, you know uh, Ken, what do you see?
yeah.
Tell me about this village. What do you see? And then it really moved me because I realized that I had taken my own sight for granted for so many years. I'd never thought about it. So that was a truly moving experience for both of us.
Just the idea of seeing anyone blind doing the Camino is just amazing, and share some part of it. For me, and for you it was, but for me it's just unbelievable.
It was, yeah. Russell, his name was Russell. Her name was Lori. They were professional people. I think Lori was a teacher, and Russell was a lawyer. But they had a lot of experience in the outdoors.
Yeah,
They would go camping and hiking with their children. So they were a very interesting, very smart couple, and we loved being with them.
just amazing. Did you always? Did you just showed us your book? It's your Camino. Can you tell us how the idea to write about the Camino came to you?
No, that's a great question, and uh, for me, we were so inspired by the Camino, and all the things that happened on the Camino to us, that I thought, this is the perfect chance for me to write my first book. I've been writing since I was a child, and I love to write, and I always promised myself I will write a book. And so I'm getting older. You can see from my hair, I'm getting older. And I said, I'm running out of time. So, this was perfect. I came back. Uh, I locked myself in my room, this room here, for like 4 months, and I kept writing and writing and writing, and then finally, it's kind of interesting because when I was done, I asked the actor Martin Sheen.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so we know Martin Sheen because we did some work together in Mexico, working with the poor people, and so he became our friend. And so after we did the Camino.
Sorry to interrupt you, Kenneth. We are just finishing our first part. It's just
Okay.
1 second, and we can go from here. Right? It's 1 second.